We've had some guys that have been waiting behind stage, and I've kind of kept you all in a little bit of suspense here. But they're kind of chomping at the bit to get loose. So right now, at this point, to all of you bears, cubs, daddies, grizzlies, all of you ghouls and goblins that are here in the audience, I would like to present the contestants for 2007 International Mr. Bear. I have a few things in my hand here that I know you've all been waiting to see. These are your contestants. For International Bear Cub 2007 is awarded to Steve Finch. For International Grizzly Bear 2007 is Steve Strong. For International Mr. Daddy Bear 2007 is Todd Bennett. For International Bear 2007, Andres Pieriero.
There's lots of hot men in the Castro.
Oh, always.
Especially today. I would classify myself as a cub. Maybe a little bit younger, likes to have a little bit more fun.
Somebody with tits bigger than yours. Sister Saki Toomey.
I love that. Is that Chinese? Just being a little bit bad when you go out and, you know, just trying to get into trouble. When's the class? Maybe we'll come.
Self-defense seminar.
Self-defense seminar. Well, if we come in March, can we stay with you?
We'll be back in about 20 minutes. You want to make a Rob sandwich?
I want to make a Rob sandwich. I actually wouldn't mind that. How you doing?
Love that hair.
Actually,
How y'all doing today?
Those are the size of lips you need to kiss his big ass.
Oh! New York Bear. A true New Yorker.
He walked early. He did. He walked early. He was really smart. Sang a lot of songs from the radio. Always wanted company around. The bad thing he used to do when he was little was whoever took their shoes off, he used to go lay down on their feet. Don't ask me why. So everybody knew that that would keep him quiet. They used to sit around the table, take their shoes off, and he would lay on their feet and he would be quiet.
He used to eat a lot. I remember we would have cupcakes and he would have like 3 instead of like 1.
I was
after
short
dinner.
for my weight. You can't even see her. You got her all wrapped up.
And sometimes, you know, he puts himself last all the time and he shouldn't. Sometimes you have to put yourself first sometimes.
Mom, where did he get that from though?
Well, I do the same thing, but you know what? He'll go above and beyond to do it.
Yeah, I'd like to see him meet like a nice guy, and then we could double date. We could do things together.
I believe if I was gay, I would be the perfect mate for you. But I'm not, and I have the second best thing. I have a sister.
I'm just the second best thing. That's okay, honey. I knew what you meant.
Everybody knew what I meant.
We got a lot. I can understand that my family wants me in a relationship. You like the sand, right? if eventually it happens, and I'll be happy with it. Right now, I feel like I'm not missing anything, and I'm not, lacking anything. And for now, it doesn't happen. I'm happy.
My friend Dan took me to New York to the first gay bar I think I was ever in, and told me what a bear was. He actually said one day, "You're a bear," and I didn't know whether to take that as a compliment or, as a fat joke. Took me a while to be comfortable with my bareness, I think. But I'm definitely there.
I'd be in trouble with this. Let's see, my ideal, tall, 6 foot over, 6 foot to 6'5", 260 to 290, hairy, nice goatee, thick, masculine, someone you could see at Home Depot and you'd have no idea. I like guys that look like they are in some sort of authority.
That's some deep-seated issue that you have.
Just a rough man. I want a beefy guy. And Jim, he likes the slender guys, or less beefy, but it's got to be about the beef. It's all about the beef with me.
Bears are so much more accepting of people, that it's not so hard to be in the bear community and be trans. When I look at myself in the mirror, I don't consider myself trans. I'm a guy, I'm a bear, and I'm queer. But for all intents and purposes, I am trans. I started out female, I'm male. That makes me trans. No matter how I feel about it, no matter how anybody else feels about it, that's the reality of it. And this is her. I got her down in Massachusetts with the understanding that I rebuild her. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is rebuilding her. She's an 82 Suzuki. It's a bear magnet. I think that's cool. I think a lot of people have a whole lot of trouble getting past that upbringing. So when they get into a situation like walking into a bear gathering and everybody's rubbing bellies and touching and it's very uncomfortable for them. They want it. On many different levels, they need that contact. But they don't know what to do. They don't know how to bond in that manner. Because everything in them has always said, you don't do this. If they'd come hang out with us bears, it wouldn't take very long. We'd just hug them all up, In
1979, I had been living in Germany and studying there, and I moved to San Francisco. And a few years later, one of the things that started emerging after the initial devastation of the AIDS epidemic in the gay community there was individuals kind of calling themselves bears, and little things started happening. Life started coming back. People started going out. People were looking for ways to reconnect socially. And so this bear stuff started happening. These guys who are self-identifying as bears in San Francisco in the mid-'80s were kind of responding or reacting to a number of things. One of them was the whole kind of Castro clone or Christopher Street clone was kind of tired, and people wanted something different. One of the things that went on in the 70s and 80s was the hanky coding, and part of the look of a clone was to have a color-coded hanky in your pocket. And one of the things that a few guys did was they would stick a little stuffed bear in their back pocket, and the signal was, I like to cuddle or be cuddled, rather than this whole elaborate, what do I like to do in bed, what am I looking for, just I want to be cuddled kind of phenomena. So there was that kind of thing that people were reacting to. AIDS was important in a couple of ways. One was that after the epidemic hit, gaining some extra weight, not being totally gym-toned, became eroticized as healthy. So there was that phenomenon happening. There was also a very different kind of phenomenon where when the epidemic hit, everyone disappeared. I mean, Castro Street literally went from being, carnival. It was always lots of people out. There was just the street life all the time to a ghost town. The bars closed, businesses closed, people were dying very rapidly of AIDS. People were not coming out. And after a couple of years of this very weird ghost town experience, men were looking for ways to reconnect. So it was kind of this liminal or this marginal, this space outside where a lot of gay men came together who had not found community or found each other, who had in the past felt, by choice or by exclusion on the margins of community. The really odd thing about bears and body image, from my perspective, particularly from having tuned into bears very early on, was that being a bear, originally at least, meant that I'm about being who I am within me as opposed to what other people see on the outside. And I find it rather ironic that in the approximately 20 years that bears have been around as a group identity, that much of it has become full circle, that being a bear is very much about having specific body images. And depending on where one is, there can be heated debates over, can you be a bear if you don't have a beard? Can you be a bear if you don't have body hair? Can you be a bear if you're other than Caucasian? And on and on and on. And it's like, oh my God, but the whole point of bears was like, people don't worry about that stuff. And for me, the bears have always been about this utopian vision for a better community, a better way of being in community, a better way of being with other people, with other, my community. I've been doing this bear history work for 10 years now, and it's taken me to much broader questions and more underlying questions about social identity, especially sexually based social identity. It's taken me more fundamentally to questions of masculinity and what does it mean to be a man. I think one of the key factors why the bear thing caught on when it did was specifically an answer to the question of what does it mean to be a gay man? Emphasis has been on what does it mean to be gay? I'm a man who is gay. And bears was a real shift in what does it mean to be a gay man, and to be really focused on, well, what is that being a man about? And what is all of that about? So in this broader sense of bear as simply questioning open-endedly, what does it mean to be a man, or what is masculinity about?
All right, everybody, here we go. Let's big round of applause for Don here. He's here from Milwaukee, Oregon. All right. Now, he is 5'10", 205 pounds. He went on the diet just for this contest. Somebody told him Tyra Banks was going to be here. What do you think you are best at in bed sexually? Here's what he put. the nasty words that I whisper in the ear of my partner. Yes, and I know what those nasty words are. Jenny Craig, lean cuisine. Let's hear it for our next contestant, David Whopper Nelson.
Are you guys bears, cubs, or otters?
Oh, I would think probably Cubs.
What's an otter?
This was perfect, the way nature intended.
We're on our way to Chicago. I was gonna say finally, but this trip came so fast that I don't feel ready for it. So I just packed a whole bunch of shit and pretty much got in the taxi and came here.
Off to the hotel.
That's right. Anthony made us have a problem at the airport in Newark. His bag was too heavy because of all his dildos and handcuffs. So he had to unload his bag and put all his stuff in our bags.
How rude, I say.
How dare you?
So now we're on Halsted Street and we're doing a little tour of Boys Town.
Is that sidetracks?
Because John has never been to Chicago before and he's not really seen Boys Town, so we're gonna go check it out and see what trouble it can cause. So
yeah, that's sidetracks. Eric's making balloon animals for us.
Flower.
Her eyes lit up.